Alright, so welcome to week 9 of 52 weeks of being 30. So a lot happened this week, a lot going on. Of course, all of those things were completely and utterly dwarfed by the fact that my wife had our baby. That's huge. That's huge. We had a baby. So if you're one of those people who thinks it's really annoying to listen to proud parents, talk about their beautiful children and how and husbands who are, amazed by their wives having natural childbirth, this is probably a good time to just stop the video and go about your day. You should probably go watch some American Idol reruns or something. Because the rest of this video is basically going to be about how awesome my wife is and how awesome it is to have a new baby. So, with Trip and Selby, I, shortly after the birth, I took the time to kind of talk about what the birth experience was like and what it was like the day that they were born. Just because a lot of those memories just kind of disappear. You have so much going on, all the tiny details just kind of disappear. So this is going to be my attempt to just kind of remember how the birth went. Okay, so Jenna planted a garden 2 days before the baby was born. We just thought, we knew for sure that he was going to be born that night because she was in labor all week. Just very mild, consistent contractions. They just weren't very intense. So the next day, she decided she'd paint our porch. So she painted the front porch. So that night, so we go about our day. I went back to work after the appointment, and I just knew that the baby was not coming because there had been too many false alarms. I kind of put my foot in my mouth a couple of times saying, yeah, it's going to happen tonight. It is going to happen tonight. I made all these predictions, and they just didn't pan out. So we go to bed, kind of normal time, Wednesday night, and Jenna woke up about 1:30 with some contractions that actually woke her up in the middle of the night. Then she woke me up at about 3, and she was saying that, it definitely felt like it was going to happen. She asked me to, she said, as she woke me up, I didn't know what time it was. I remember just being kind of like, hey babe, good morning. But she was like, hey, yeah, I need you to go make some coffee and call the birth photographer. And that's when it was like things started to connect. I was like, oh, you think it's happening? And I'll never forget, she looked at me and was like, it better be happening. Because at this point, she's gone a week of labor and it was strong enough to wake her up. If this was another just like pulling your leg, she was going to be upset. So I got up, I made some coffee, we started to clean up around the house because we knew the midwives were coming, but we've been keeping the house pretty clean, knowing that, our house was going to be kind of overrun. Cleaning up some dishes, putting some dishes in the dishwasher, that sort of thing. And it was while we were doing that Jenna threw up, and that's when active labor is kind of beginning. So at that point, Jenna went and got in the bathtub. Anyway, so she's in the bathtub, letting the water kind of flow over, and she asked me to stay. She was like, can you stay with me? And at that moment, I was like, okay, that means that, this is serious. While we were in the tub, the midwives arrived, and they started unpacking things. They got the birth pool set up. They started filling up the tub. I already had some water on the stove boiling, or getting hot, so they could use that to keep the water warm. So we had 2 midwives and a midwifery student, and the student had a really active role, and Jenna was cool with that, so that was fine. But so she checked Jenna, and by checking, I mean she's checking to see how much dilated she was, and this is in the tub. And understand, just a few hours earlier in the day, she was only 4 centimeters. So Jenna asked, after the contraction was over, she asked her, so tell me it's more than 4 centimeters. She just kind of nodded. She was like, And it was like so nebulous. But it turns out that she was basically fully effaced at that point. You hear you're fully effaced, that's a game changer, because you're like, phew, all right, let's do this. So after being in the tub a little while, Jenna decided she wanted to go to bed, and I was able to lay there with her, and I noticed that her contractions were getting progressively stronger because she was going from that like quivery breath to kind of an audible breath. Everything was going well. They checked the baby's heart rate and everything was going really well. So it was a very positive experience up to this point. And then Jen decides, I think I want to get in the pool. We were in the pool maybe, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes, 35 minutes, something like that. She was in the pool maybe just a few contractions, and they were decidedly strong. And I could recognize that it was getting close. One of the midwives reached down and checked her, and it was at that point. This is cool because she kind of in a very midwife voice, which is very calm and soothing, said, "Okay, Mama, are you gonna catch your baby?" Or something like that. It was, "Do you want to catch your baby?" And Jenna responded, "No, Steven's going to." And of course, I'm like, yes! So I'm wearing like a white t-shirt and jeans at this point, and instead of just like stripping down, I just jumped in with my jeans. I was able to actually reach down and feel Finn's head, and that was awesome. And you gotta understand now, like you see like Discovery Channel, you see these things on TV showing people giving birth, and they're like crazy hysterical maniacs, or they're completely drugged, so like they're totally out of it. They're just, ah. But Jenna was nothing like that. She was totally in control of her body, and by in control, I really mean she was like able to give over control, I guess, and just let it do what it was like built to do. God designed women to create life inside their bodies, and that is just awesome, like way awesome. I think some women are really good at like recognizing that, acknowledging that she was designed to be able to do this, and also they respect that God's not an idiot, and he knew what he was doing. And some women are able to just really embrace it. And I think it has to do with education. Sometimes it's just education. Like some women see like the Discovery Channel side and they think that's what it's supposed to be. We've been blessed that Jen's a doula, birth doula, and she's been able to see a lot of different kinds of births. And we've also had 2 wonderful experiences with Trip and Selby. So she knows what's going on, and I think that's really empowering for her. So I hop in the water. I'm able to feel Finn's head. I was able to reach down, and I could actually feel like his little soft, super soft head, and you could feel a little bit of hair. And then as he kind of came out a little bit slower, I could feel his cheeks, this really soft, fat cheeks. And then a few seconds later, he came out a little bit more, and he was coming out really slow. And I was able to feel the edges of his ears, And you gotta understand, this is my baby is coming out of my wife. Like literally right in front of me inside this water. It was awesome. It was really, really cool. Very cool experience. It was such a smooth, such a calm atmosphere. It was wonderful. At one point, when I first felt his head, and it was just, I was like kind of overcome. I think I cried. I'm not sure. I don't think like tears came down, but I was definitely that kind of feeling. So I reached down, I feel him, and it was just awesome. And I leaned up and whispered to Jenna to tell her to feel him. She's giving birth, and there's a baby coming out of her. So it's uncomfortable, to say the least. But she reached down, and you can see her go from like this to like, because she's feeling her baby come out. It was so awesome. I think it's awesome that I have this, but I have a video of when Finn actually comes out, and it is so counter to what most people think in terms of birth experience. It's not in like a big bright white hospital. It's not with like 70, unnecessary people hanging out. And when he's born, they don't like snatch him, cut his cord, take him off. It was like birth under our terms, which was absolutely wonderful. I recommend home birth for a healthy pregnancy and an educated mom and dad. I totally recommend home birth. If you're uneducated about it, just because you don't know what to expect and you're more likely to just be nervous, But if you know what's going on, the nerves are gone. No nerves. It's awesome. I might talk a little bit about some of the benefits of a home birth from a dad's perspective in one of my future videos. Just because I feel like I'm kind of on a soapbox right now. I'm all about home births at this point. I was nervous at first. I was definitely nervous about the idea of just having them here. Now that we've experienced it, oh my goodness. If we get pregnant again and it's a healthy pregnancy, I'm sure we'll totally choose a home birth again. You hear this just exhalation, and it's not like a pain. It's just my baby's coming out, you know. And you see the midwives kind of reach in, grab Finn, bring him up, and give him to Jenna. I'm looking right over her shoulder this whole time. So I felt the whole thing, and I'm seeing it all at the same time. That is one of those just amazing experiences. Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I'm totally in awe of Jenna and how she's able to do that, able to have this huge baby. 9 pounds and 15 ounces, that's 1 ounce shy of 10 pounds. It's a huge baby. She's a really big, fat little baby. But yeah, the whole birth experience was awesome. We feel so blessed. We believe in God. I don't know who all watches these things, even if it's just for my kids' sake, if they watch this at some point. Trip, Selby, Finn, future babies that I haven't met yet. Your mom and dad believe in God. We know that there is a God that exists. We know that it was created by Him. When you understand that, when you recognize that there is a real God and someone who created things, and once you acknowledge that, then you realize that that same God, I think, wants humanity to be happy and to live an abundant life, a joyful life, a peaceful life. The experience of giving birth is, I think, it's a slightly more transcendent experience if you believe in a God. If you don't believe in God, I feel like you're a little bit robbed of the magic and the miracle that's happening. Birth is beautiful, and it's the most creative act that we get to participate in, and it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. And now we have Finn. He's here. He's healthy. He's fat. He's sleeping pretty well. He's nursing really well. Jenna is doing awesome. We're trying to keep her settled down so that she doesn't try to do too much. And I'm so glad that I'm taking the time off. I'm taking 3 weeks off of work. I've done more domestic work in the last 2 days than I can remember. It just also helps me appreciate everything that Jenna does around the house. She's like a superwoman. She takes care of the kids, which that's exhausting, number one. With or without a baby, it's exhausting. But also when I come home from work, like the house is clean, she's got food. A lot of times there's food ready already. Mainly like the house has a nice smell. There's not like stuff all over the place. And I realized that when I'm in charge of keeping the house clean, it's not even close to that. I'm trying really hard to make it where when Jenna comes into the living room, she doesn't go, ah, and like to feel like she needs to clean things up, because I need her to be healthy. I think I'm getting some perspective, or I may have taken some things for granted. I'm certain that I took things for granted, but now at least I get to experience it, kind of like the walk the mile in someone else's shoes thing. Yeah, so everything's been great. We feel so blessed, and we're so happy, and we're very blessed that we have family that's been willing to help. Trip and Selby have been very helpful. They absolutely adore Finn. I was afraid maybe they'd be feel a little left out or a little jealous, but they haven't been. They've been awesome. They sing to him and they'll kiss his little head. But yeah, we're so happy. We feel very blessed. We feel thankful to all of our friends and family who have offered to help, bringing us food, folding laundry, buying us a wipes warmer, just these small things that make life a lot easier, and I'm just so happy that I don't have to go and do all that stuff. There's been people who have come to help, and I really appreciate that. Alright, that's it. Obviously a lot longer than a usual video, and you can't help but want to talk about how awesome my wife and my family is. So, I've been 30 for 9 weeks, and already, a huge milestone has happened. Yeah, so far, 30 years old, nothing to complain about. Alright, look forward to posting another video soon. You have a good one.